Hello, everyone. Welcome, Danny Garola, Pink Barn Stamper, coming to you from a nice and cool Tucson, Arizona. So it is a fabulous day today. So yesterday we had a day full of rain. It was wonderful. This desert is alive today. Those of you who have traveled down here and know the desert like we do who are, living here, after a good rain, the desert just livens up and flowers go crazy, the animals go crazy. It is just one of those things that everything comes out for a drink, which is understandable when it's very dry and hot down here. And so yesterday we got down to like 64 degrees. I think that's about as about as warm as it got yesterday. Today we are only at 81 degrees, so that's fabulous. It is a bit humid because of that moisture in the ground and because of the heat. It's made everything pretty, see this? Humidity. It just does it. But I'll take that any day. And because of the humidity that we have down here, it's not that crazy, sticky, hot, gross, like feel like you just stepped out of the shower kind of humidity. Our humidity is more of a dry humidity. How does that make sense? But it's more because you are in the desert. It does dissipate quite quickly. We'll just say that. So, what did we do over the weekend? It was a pretty low-key weekend. I'm kind of a person who just likes to hang out at home. We did get some plants in the ground because we knew that the rains were coming, and with the rains coming, the plants absorb that so much and the ground loves it that it makes planting the perfect time to do that right before rain. What else do we have going on? We just kind of hung out at the house. I'm trying to remember. Oh, the kids went swimming over last week. They did get to do their first swim of the summer. So not that my kids are really little, but I mean, they're still kids in my eyes. They'll always be kids. They're my kids. And so they went over and they got to hop in the pool for the first time of the summer. So they loved that. My daughter was just in heaven over there. So for the month of June, we've got a lot coming up. My daughter's birthday is coming up. Miss Katie Cat is going to be turning 16. We've got milestones for both the kids at home. Kind of milestones. I mean, not really for my son, besides the fact that he is going to be no longer a teen. He is entering the 20s, and his birthday is July 1st. So we have kind of decided what we're going to do with my daughter for her 16th. Because my daughter is severely disabled, most of the time parents are either, doing something wild and crazy for their 16-year-olds, or they're handing over a set of keys or something like that for a car, or teaching them to drive, whatever the case may be. But for my girl, we've decided, so in my home, we've got fish tank aquariums. We are big into fish tanks. I've got a 75-gallon, a 50-gallon, and a 20-gallon, and then a 10-gallon. So we've got fish pretty much in every room of my home. And the reason why is because my daughter loves fish. She loves watching them. She will sit there and just watch them for hours, literally. And we've got, big, like cichlid fish and things that are more kind of fun to watch. I have an angelfish that's probably from his top fin to his bottom fin is probably close to maybe 8 to 10 inches. So he's a big guy, but he's beautiful. And so we've decided that, and we've been talking about it for years, that we've been wanting to go up to Phoenix and go to the Otta Sea Aquarium. And so we have decided that that's what we're going to be doing for her birthday. So her birthday is on the 19th, right after Father's Day. So we're going to be going up there, and I think my son's going to be going with us too. We're going to be going up and going to Odyssey, and we'll probably stop and have dinner afterwards and maybe some ice cream or something like that. And then probably Friday the 19th, that's when we'll probably, or I mean the 20th, right? Yeah, Friday the 20th is probably when we'll do cake and ice cream and then do the presents and all that kind of stuff, because it's going to be an all day thing when we go up there. Because it takes about 2 hours to get up there and obviously 2 hours to get back. So you got to figure drive time and then the time that we're spending. So I'm excited. From the reviews that I'm seeing, it sounds like it's a pretty awesome place. I think it's something she's going to love. They have big, huge shark that she is just going to be blown away. There's like this tunnel that you can go walking through. So she'll be able to like see the fish all around her. So I'm excited. I think I'm probably more excited than she is. I just can't wait to see her expressions. So there'll be photos to come if you're on my private Facebook page. So that'll be in the middle of the month. All right, you guys. So we do have a couple of things that when I get you guys flipped around that we are going to be talking about. Today is going to be Father's Day cards. I'm going to be using different kinds of paper with this, but I will stay focused on the one stamp set. He's the greatest. It kind of corresponds with She's the Greatest. If you've looked at it on shopdannygarola.com, if you've gone in there and you've looked in the store and you've kind of looked at the Father's Day sets, this is a fantastic set, not only for Father's Day, but you could do birthday. It also has sentiments on there for uncle, papa, grandpa. It goes all your, the men figures in your life. So I'm going to get you guys flipped around. We are going to go ahead and get into these fabulous cards. So hold tight. We're going to hope and pray that YouTube sticks with me today, because I know a couple of our other demonstrators have been having problems. And you guys know there for a while, every time I would flip us around, I would wind up losing connection with you guys. So fingers crossed that we're all good. So hold tight. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. I am going to go over a couple of promotions that we've got going on, and a fantastic promotion starting tomorrow and running through the full month of June. You guys are not going to want to miss out on this fantastic deal that is coming up. But for now, we're going to talk about Paper Pumpkin. This is the last month of the second quarter for our Paper Pumpkin. So this has April, May, and June as far as the coordinating add-on. This is called the Hugs a Bloom Dies. That is still available. Full of Charm. This is our June Paper Pumpkin that is in current subscription wise. This goes through June 10th that you can get this fantastic kit. As you can see, it looks like there's going to be some watercoloring with these beautiful florals. Love the colors in this. It looks like you've got some Petunia Pop, the pretty peacock, and it looks like that's either Mossy Meadow or that is Mossy Meadow. Mossy Meadow is the green. So it says, send your loved ones elevated cards with heartfelt sentiments. It's going to make 9 cards, 3 each of 3 designs with 9 coordinating envelopes. It says envelopes and card bases with decorative gold foil, pre-cut paper pieces, and unique sentiment labels. So don't let this one slip by, because if you don't subscribe to this or get your one-time purchase of this kit. Now remember that you don't have to go to paperpumpkin.com anymore. You're going to go right into my store, shopdannygarola.com, and up in the search bar, click Paper Pumpkin. It's going to take you right in to see how the Paper Pumpkin subscription works. So don't let this one slip by. This one ends June 10th. We have our virtual album retreat available for you guys to purchase. Now this is a month, a 12-month 2 spread layout that they will be doing in a Facebook Live. So once you purchase the kit, you will then get sent, I think it is in June, maybe it's July, June or July, or actually July 16th or 18th. It is a live Facebook event where you would go in there, you would have all your supplies once you buy your month-to-month kit, and it will, it'll be recorded. So just know that if you can't make it during those dates, don't fret. You can always watch the replay of it. They will have that up. So then you can make your kits on your own leisure time. But it's going to make, as you can see down here, and I've also over on the blog, my blog, pinkbarnstamper.com. If you scroll down, you'll find where I have the blog that talks about the album retreat. You can click on a flyer that I have posted on there, and you will be able to see the 12-month spreads. So they're really, really cool. You can, great way to get yourself started with scrapbooking if you have always wanted to scrapbook and preserve those memory photos that you have, but you just don't have the creativity, or you feel like you don't have the creativity to create those fabulous layouts. They've got you taken care of right here with this fantastic retreat. Okay, so the next thing for the month of June, we have the sweets and sweets products. So I know it's a little bit confusing. This is a buy one, get one half off on all of our sweets and sweet products. So what that means is, you know, when you see a full sweet collection, it's the stamps, it's the dies, it's the paper, and it's either a ribbon or a embellishment or maybe an embossing folder, and they are at one price. You can buy the full suite and then get the lesser of the two that you pick at the half off price. But that's not it. It includes any product that is inside of a suite collection. So if you see a embossing folder and it's inside of this suite collection, and you see a set of embellishments that are over here in this suite collection, as long as they are in a combined in a suite collection, you can get the buy one, get one half off on those as well. So it's the products that are included also. So you don't have to buy the full suite. You can pick and choose the items that you want out of the suite collections. So I just want you guys to be aware of that, because there has been tons of questions going on about this. So that starts tomorrow in my online store. So you will see that there. Another thing that I want to bring to your guys' attention, if you are not aware of my customer perks. So when you shop with me in the month, I will add you to my monthly customer giveaway. So the more times that you shop with me in the month, the more times you are going to get added another entry. So every order is a entry into my giveaway. So at the end of the month, so today or yesterday was the first, so I went in and I took all my June customers and I put them in a little handy dandy like generator that I use on my computer. It is called Wheel of Names, and I put everybody's names in there. So every time they've placed an order, they get another entry into there. Then I spin that wheel, and then it lets me know who my winner is. So I want you guys to know that for the month of May, Miss Frida Alsip is my winner. So you are going to be getting the Day to Celebrate, and it looks like Frida is in here right now with us. The Day to Celebrate stamp set. This is photopolymer. It has never been used, so it is brand new. And you are going to get a pack of the Sparkle and Shine sequin assortments. These are really fun. You can take a glue dot and glue those down on something. If you like to make shaker cards, you can have fun with these and put these inside of your shaker cards. And I know you've got some grandbabies that would probably love shaker cards, because they love to have little interactive things. So yeah, so just know that that is one of the perks. One of the other perks is, you guys all know that on my weekly Make It Mondays, which you're here watching right now, I do, for every order that is $35 or more, I send you a handy dandy kit just like this in the mail. It does have all 3 of your envelopes. The cut cardstock is put inside of your envelopes for you. If there is any kind of die shapes beyond the sets that I'm using, I will include those in your kit. So for instance, today I'm going to be using the, I know, surprise, surprise, Stylish Shapes dies. So I don't expect you to have this set as well, but you will have to have your He's the Greatest to make them exactly how I am. Otherwise, you can use any stamp set that you have in your collection to complete these cards as you feel suited. So if you have any kind of Father's Day sentiments, whatever, and you place an order with me, you will be able to make some Father's Day cards just like what I'm making here. But I will include the circle, the square, anything that I am using in the cards. I will include that inside of your kit, pre-cut for you. So then you'll just be able to go ahead and just make your cards. You will just have to do all your own stamping with either He's the Greatest or whatever stamp sets you have on hand. I will also include the PDFs with step-by-step instructions how to make the cards. Or you can always reference back to this video here and see it if you're more of a visual person like I am. Hello, Linda. Hello, Frida. Welcome, you guys. Okay, so mystery stamping for the month of June. Just to let you guys know, I did already put the graphics over in my private Facebook group, which is Pink Barn Stamper private group. So the way that works is I will be putting out the supply list. You will also find it over on my blog, pinkbarnstamper.com. It looks like it's the 11th of June is when the supply list will come out. We'll actually go live in my private Facebook group on the 18th, and the winner will be drawn on the 25th. And let me show you guys what is the prize for this upcoming month. Oh, if I can get my hands on them. So I have decided to give away some of these iridescent adhesive back discs. These are wonderful, so shiny and sparkly. You've got some red, you've got a iridescent color, so it changes, a pretty little pink here, and then more of a white iridescent here. But these are fun. These can also be used for 4th of July cards because they are very sparkly and shiny. All right, so let's go ahead and get into our cards. So Frida, watch for your Happy Mail. I will get that in the mail this week. Okay, so let's get out all of our stuff that we need. Again, I am using He's the Greatest for these fantastic Father's Day cards. So a really cool thing to know about this is you do have son, papa, grandpa, brother, uncle. So it's not just about Father's Day. You can customize uncle's birthday cards, your brother's birthday cards. You know, it's just one of those really fun sets to have and keep on the shelf when you need to have a personalized card for the men in your life. Okay, so our first card, let me get all the stuff out here. Okay, let me add that right there. So I am actually bringing a paper that is retired. I'm going to be using, this is called Trusty Tools paper. I will show you the other card that I made with one of the papers that we do still have available, but I just thought this coordinates so well with a Father's Day card. If you guys have this paper, I'm sure you guys probably love it, but now I'm gonna give you another idea of how to use this fantastic paper here. So I am using the one that has the tools on one side, and then it is a Lost Lagoon texture on the other side. So what we are going to do with this is we are going to score this at, let's see how I want this done. We are going to score this at 2 1/4. Now this piece measures 5.5 by 12. We need to score at 2 1/4. We need to score at 5.5. Now this is one of those that if you want to use up your paper before you buy any more, this is a fantastic card, and it shows both sides of your card. Then we need to go all the way down to 9 3/4 and score. Okay, so now what we have, again, that was 2 1/4, 5.5, and 9 3/4. Okay, so now we need to figure out, we're going to fold this in. So I just flipped it over, and then we're going to fold in again on our 5 3/4, and then we're going to pull this back, just like so. Now, if you want it to look the other way, then just flip this over so you can decide which way you like your paper orientation. I think I might go with that, because then you can see the tool. No, I'm going to go back the original way that I had it. I'm going to go this way, because then I can see that side. Okay. And then you can see all the tools around it. And so this is going to open like this. So what we need to do is we need to grab our inside piece. This is 4 by 5 1/4. And so because of the price of our white, basic white, going up in price, I have actually decided, now this is just my own thoughts and views on things, I have decided to go ahead and buy some, my glue is hot and goopy here. I have decided to buy some white, cheaper cardstock from Amazon, so I can use that for my inside pieces, because you only stamp pretty much a sentiment on the inside, that I don't want to keep using my Stampin' Up! Basic white for the inside of a card. I just don't feel like it's necessary. But let me show you guys what I purchased. This is Nina, I guess it's called, bright white. This is 65 pounds, so it's about the same thickness as our basic white. Now, not the basic white thick, just regular basic white. And it really kind of stands up. Like I said, I wouldn't do anything that goes on the front of my card or any kind of die shapes or anything like that. I strictly use that for the inside piece of my card if I'm using a white layer, just to let you guys know. Okay, so there is my base. The next part that I need is, this is where I'm going to be bringing in my Stylish Shapes dies. I'm going to use the bigger label here. Now that looks like the flag. Both ends are flagged. I'm going to go ahead and die cut that. So I just need a scrap of my Lost Lagoon. So let me die cut that out. So this is like a flagged banner here. So there is that. We're going to be using that on there. If I can get this piece to stay. Let me grab my bone folder. That's what I forgot to do. I forgot to give this a good crease on here. Just like so. Then I'm going to be using a scrap of white. I'm going to be, throwing my dies around. Jeez Louise. I'm going to grab the biggest of my circles and I'm going to die cut that, and I happen to just have one here for this. Now this is on basic white because I am going to be doing stamping on this. And we are going to use, now I am going to be bringing in She's the Greatest just because this doesn't have any other sentiments like World's Greatest, You're the Best, For the Coolest. I like that those coordinate with this die. These kind of coordinate together, I guess you would say. Not that you have to buy them both, but you have the in-law. And I've already featured this in one of my Make It Mondays, so you could go back and look for She's the Greatest. But you've got in-law, bonus. So like if you have a bonus dad or bonus grandpa, a great or step, in-law. You've got your number one here. So they do go quite well together. Not that that is necessary, but I am going to use a couple of the stamps out of this. So I need to use, what did I need? I need You're the Best, if I can find it. Maybe I want to do that in the red. Maybe I don't want Lost Lagoon. You know what? Maybe I'm going to change my mind, because now that I have changed that color, I think it kind of gets lost. I think that Lost Lagoon piece gets lost on this. So I need to grab my Poppy Parade ink because we're going to use that. And I need to grab a piece of Poppy Parade paper. And I'm going to actually do that banner on the Poppy Parade. Oh yeah, that looks much better. Definitely needed that. Okay, yeah. All right, so what we're going to do, now I think I'm going to also stamp in the, let's see, what do you guys think? Do you think I should stamp in Lost Lagoon? Do you think my words should be stamped in Lost Lagoon, or do you think my words should be stamped in the Poppy? What do you guys think? Hello, Kimberly. Tell me your thoughts, what you think. Okay, let me get a, I was gonna say, what do we want to stamp in the inside? Poppy. Okay, so we're gonna stamp in Poppy. Okay, so I'm gonna do You're the Best right up here. Okay, and then we need the word Dad. Right here, the Dad is got these chunkier letters, and I love that. Makes for a really nice, bold word. I mean, we could always do that in the Poppy and then do that in the Lost Lagoon. No, I think I'm going to keep it all in the Poppy. But you could always do that. Since they are separate words, you can change the colors around. And we're going to do Dad right like so. Yes, my husband, we had the air conditioning guys come out, what was it, on Friday, and they were supposed to hook the rest of my mini split up. So my husband's been working very diligently to get my mini split. So hopefully it won't be as loud as the AC that I have running right now. I just have a little floor unit that is running right now. Granted, it's not super, super hot today, but it's the humidity that I can't stand. So I have to have the AC on. But they are supposed to come back out tomorrow because he finished getting everything else. Because the way these mini splits work is you can't just hook them right up and turn it on. I guess you have to flush the Freon through it and all this kind of stuff, which is kind of a lengthy process. So he had to get everything else hooked up before the AC guys would do anything else to it. So that's why they couldn't do it on Friday. They have to come back tomorrow and get the rest of it hooked back up. So hopefully next week there won't be that extremely loud air conditioning going. I know you guys have been working so well with me dealing with that horrendous noise of that going, and I apologize, but otherwise I would be not a happy stamper. The saying is normally happy camper, but I would be not a happy stamper, right? If I had to sit here in the gross heat trying to stamp and do all the things. So yeah, we're hoping that they can finish getting that all hooked up tomorrow. Fingers crossed. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pop this up on here. So since my banners, the little flagged ends are going to hang over this, I want to make sure that I don't get any of my dimensionals on the sides. I want to keep them pretty centered here. So I'm just going to do one more in the center. Keep those going all straight down there. Now this was a challenge card over on my team. Over on my my upline, Kelly Atchison, her team page, we have a challenge card or challenge layout, I guess you might say. And this was one of the challenges, this really cool fun fold. So that's what that looks like. Let me show you the other one that I made just so you can see how well this works with our different papers. So this is the other paper called, let me look here. This paper is called Take to the Sky, and this paper is actually still available, but I just thought that turned out fantastic too. But I really wanted to use this trusty tool paper because I have quite a bit of it, and I need to get it used up. But I just wanted to show the versatility that you could really use any paper. So what we could do on the inside of this is we could use a scrap of these tools. Now, because we're not really seeing the tools on the inside, we could take this, and if you had it cut differently, you could actually run that down the inside. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a 3/4 inch piece of this by 4, and I'm going to lay that on the inside there to coordinate this paper. Now we do have the trusty tool stamp set available that if you own that and this paper, you could actually stamp one of these really fun tools in the inside of this. My glue is going crazy over here, so I need to get an air pocket in that so it'll stop wasting my glue. There we go. That's better. It's over here just spitting my glue out, wasting glue. So there is that. We can say, where did my stamp size go? We could stamp in the inside of here and put Happy Father's Day. So let me grab, where did I put the other stamp set? We could say happy. So let's grab that out. Happy Father's Day. Okay, now we got it. So let me grab another block here. And I'm going to stamp these one at a time, just so I make sure I get this. And that's going to look really good with that poppy on the inside because we do have so much Lost Lagoon in here. So I'm going to stamp Happy kind of off to the side. Then grab Father's Day. But this time I am going to use the Lost Lagoon for Father's. Then we'll go back to the poppy and do day. Just like that. Isn't that fun? And because they're single words, you know, can do them in different colors like this. That's one of the fun things when words are chunked up like that, then you can mix and match your different colors to go coordinating as you feel suited. So there is our fantastic fun fold card number 1. Again, here's the other one. I went ahead and used a bigger circle on this. I just felt that that smaller circle kind of got lost on that, but it does work. So there you go. You guys can play around with that fun fold. So that is card number 1. Let me get the stuff out for card number 2. Okay, card number 2 is going to be using the also beautiful paper from the Beautiful Galleries paper. Now, if you have not seen this paper, I highly, highly recommend you taking another look at it. If you were a part of my paper share, then you got some of this, and I'm sure you are loving it. So you've got these beautiful watercolor images, water painted images. And I guess maybe it's not watercolor. I think it's more of like a pastel paint. But such beautiful colors in this. And I like that you can use them for masculine, feminine. I mean, this paper goes both ways. Got those beautiful flowers and then the green on the back. Look at that scenery there. Isn't that neat? Just like it looks like it's just been penciled. This reminds me of wallpaper. And then there's that one. But these sceneries are just gorgeous for using it kind of just on its own, and that's what you're going to see that I'm going to do today. I love this one with the sailboats. It goes really good with that sunset. What's it called? Sunset Sailing, I think is the set that we have. You could add that boat right to the center of that. Look at that, looks like a map. That reminds me of when we lived in Portland. All the roads. And then there's this one with the basic beige. So just so you get kind of a little visual of that paper. So I'm going to be actually using this piece right here. I love this scene. You've got a little house. It's kind of hard to see. Sitting on the lake here, you've got some boats out in the water, or I guess it's not a lake, that's more of like a river. And then it almost looks like it is snow covered, but they're actually little houses on here. But the colors are just amazing. You've got Lost Lagoon, you've got your mossy meadow in there with some cloud cover. It's just stunning paper. I mean, you actually could frame this and have a beautiful picture just with the paper alone. But we are going to come in here with some pieces. Now, I've got my, look at these colors together. Oh, 2 colors, and it just sets the mood for this card already. So we have got our Mossy Meadow base. This is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. My next layer is a piece of Lost Lagoon. This is 3 3/4 by 5. Sorry, I was trying to read. Oh, well, there you go, Linda. She says that she buys the heavy white from Hobby Lobby when it's 40% off. Absolutely. Yeah, any of those box stores like that, the craft stores, they normally have fantastic coupons that they run that you could always buy the white paper from them as well and get a really good discount on it. So that's a good way of doing it too. Okay, so this is going to be next. We are then going to cut this. So let me grab my paper. Now this I'm going to cut where it is 1/8 of an inch smaller than this. So I need it to be a 4 7/8 by 3 5/8. So when I look at this, I do want some of the sky in there. So I think I'm going to cut off about 1/2 an inch at the bottom. And then I'm going to turn this and I'm going to cut this at my 3 5/8, because then that still gives me some of the sky there where I'm not losing all of my beautiful images. And then if I go to 4 7/8, but I think I want to keep some of that tree. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to cut. I know it looks like I'm wasting a lot of paper, and maybe I am, but this card is gorgeous. Now just know when you shop with me, you may get a different image than this, but I will definitely make sure all of your stuff matches, because there's quite a few different papers in there that work for this card. So that is going to go just like that. It couldn't be more simpler, but absolutely stunning. Isn't that fantastic? So let's go ahead and adhere this piece . On here like so. What? I did not. That's what I said to tell Dad to do that. Are they home yet?
No,
He's still not home?
no, like 5 minutes.
Oh, they probably got stuck in traffic. Because it is 5:45. Okay, so then this piece is then going to go right on here, but I think we are going to pop that up. So I'm going to move that up. Now with both of these pieces, we're going to come in with our stylish shapes here. And I think what I actually want to do, I'm gonna do that one and that one maybe. Let me see if my sentiments that I want to use are going to fit. Yep, that'll work. Okay, so I'm going to stamp this first and do what I need to do on that. I'm going to grab my white embossing powder, grab my little tweezers here. I do need my little stamping buddy to get all the fingerprints off so we're not having anything stick. I'm gonna stamp. Now this says for the coolest. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna die cut this first. Sorry. But I just realized that if I get that off center on that, I won't be able to cut that. So let me die cut this out. Whew. That's a screech. All right, that works better. Now we can stamp. So for the coolest, I'm gonna stamp that right like so. Then I'm going to do Papa. For the coolest Papa, this reminds me of a Papa card. Okay, make sure I covered that up. I actually just saw a picture of someone who was embossing and they left the lid off of their Versamark and they hit their spoon and all the powder went all over their Versamark. And at that point, your Versamark pad is kind of shot because you will not be able to get all that powder out of that pad. That's just not gonna happen. Okay, I'm gonna take that and we are going to heat set that with our heat tool. And I apologize, that air conditioning is very loud and I know it is a pest to have to hear. So I'm just hoping that he gets that, that they can get that done tomorrow. Okay, that then with the next one up, I'm going to use on the Lost Lagoon and I'm gonna cut that. Okay, I'm gonna set this like so and heat set that. Or heat set that. I'm gonna glue that. We already heat set it. All right, there's that. And let's grab those dimensionals again. We are going to add that. Right to the front of this card. Just like so. And then we are going to take this and put this right up here. We could do it up over here if we want to be able to see all this. So it's kind of your discretion where you want to cover. I like this little house right here. I do like seeing the water, so maybe up in this corner kind of covers that. I think we're gonna stay up over here. Just like that. Now, for the inside of this card, I am going to be using a piece of basic beige. If I can find my basic beige, because I think if I was to put white in the inside of there, you know what? Hold on. Let's see. Let's see if we were to take a white. That actually might not look bad because of our sentiment that is in white. Yeah, maybe we will stay with white. Yeah, that's fine. Let me see. Now, since I've cut all those scraps off, we can put that ground back on the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and put this right across here. Now this white inside piece is 5 by 3 3/4. So we're not wasting anything because we are using those pieces that were cut off. Now I feel there is some tackiness on the bottom where I think I got too much glue down here. And I'm just using my adhesive remover to just take off some of that extra sticky. I got a little glue happy. We've got all these fantastic tools. Now, Stampin' Up! Does not sell this. This is something, again, I ordered off of Amazon. But it just takes all that tackiness away, and then every once in a while when your corners get goobered up, just pull those off, toss that, and you're good to go. Okay, so there is that. Now, I do have, these are the natural matte dots. Now, I was thinking of adding some of the white ones on there, but now that I look at this, I just don't think it needs really anything else. I think that might take away from that actual picture, so I'm not going to put any embellishments on that. I was thinking I should, but now that I look at it, I think it is just beautiful, just the way it is. Now, the other one that I made, I used the circle. I used both the circles from the Stylish Shapes dies and did it that way. But I wanted to use the squares because I thought, you know what, that might look kind of good. So you decide which way you like it, if you like the circle or the square. So there is card number 2. Let's figure out, do we need to stamp anything in the inside? Maybe we just write something to our papa, grandpa. All right, so there is card number 2 for you. So let's do card number 3. Now, card number 3 has a lot of pieces, I will tell you that. But it's gorgeous and worth it at the end because all the layers work so well together. You're gonna see what I mean here. Okay, those 2 pieces. We're gonna start with our base. This is thick basic white, 11 by 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2. Okay, there's that. Our next piece is our Night of Navy. This is 4 by 5 1/4. It's gonna go right there. Our next piece is going to be a 1/8 of an inch smaller. So that is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So we're gonna go ahead and get those two pieces adhered. Again, this is that Take to the Sky paper. This paper is still available if you're looking for some more masculine paper. Okay, that's gonna go on there. The next layers that we need, this is another piece of Night of Navy. This measures, this measures 2 by 2 1/2. And this here is 2 3/8 by 1 7/8. So this is an 1/8 of an inch smaller, same paper. Okay, like that. The next piece that I need, this is a square here. This is 2 1/2 by 2 1/2. We're going to grab this is a 2 1/8 inch square. We're going to cut that out. Now this is from Misty Moonlight. So let me cut that. This is going to layer on there, just like so. Again, an 1/8 of an inch smaller. Again, that was Misty Moonlight. So there is that. I'm going to use that same die to cut out my little white pieces. This I'll talk to you about in just a second, but for this piece, what did I do with my other little piece? I need to have a scrap piece of the Night of Navy. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this, and I should probably bring my die cutting machine over here and show you how I'm going to do this. So let me move all this stuff out of the way so I don't lose anything. Oh man. Picking up your embossing machine a couple of times, that will definitely get the flab away on your arms. That can be your exercise. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut it just like I would just it being a normal cut, just like so. Once I have that, now I want to make this a little bit smaller, more of like a rectangle. So you've got these little dots down the side. If you take it and you push it back into, you'll feel it, it'll align back into those little dots again. Seeing where you want this to cut, hold that where you want it, and you will then, or maybe I need to use my positional tape here to hold it where I want it. So I'm going to take that and just stick that on there just like so, so I don't lose those little pieces. Then I'm going to cut this again. So the nice thing is you don't have to have all shape sizes of dies. on some of your dies, you can create your own shapes and sizes to fit what you need. Okay, so now let me take this tape off. So now I've got another little rectangle if and when I need that. But here is the one that I want for right now. There's my piece. And so I have created that using this. So I cut it once, full size, and then moved it to where I wanted it. Made sure I hook it into those little tick marks that are already there, and then it'll just cut out whatever size you want. So you could do that for any of those. Then I need this piece here, which is my scrap. So I already know that this measures the 2 3/8 because we just cut the square up there. So I know this needs to be 2.5. And then now all I need to do is I need to measure this. So this measures 1.5. So I need to cut this down to 1 3/8. Just like so. Oh, I cut that way too small. Wasn't paying attention to what I'm doing. So what did I say? I need 2.5. You guys were probably like, no, stop, what are you doing? 2.5 by 1 size, yep. By 1 5/8. There we go. That's better. Sometimes my brain just doesn't want to work. Lets me know I'm getting old. Do you ever go through those moments? Please tell me you do. Please let me know that I'm not the only one losing my marbles. All right, now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to grab the She's the Greatest, and I'm gonna grab World's, put all my cards in here. Let me grab this one. So World's Greatest, we need for that. And then I'm going to use, now we have the word fathers, but we can get away with having that say father. We just will make sure when we put our ink on there, we only go to the R and not use the S and the apostrophe. So let's go ahead and grab, I'm gonna use my Night of Navy ink for this. So World's Greatest. And then again, making sure I don't get the apostrophe S, I'm just going to put this in my ink right on the edge of that ink pad, father. Just like so. Now there is a little arrow in here that I'm going to use. And we're gonna go like that. I'm gonna grab just a little scrap here. I got a little scrap sitting here. And I'm going to tap that in the ink, stamp off once, and then I'm going to add that right to the bottom there for just a little lighter touch with that. Now that is going to get adhered right on like so. Then I have a piece here that measures, this is 1 1/8 by 2 1/8. This is 1 by 2. And I'm gonna use that big, where'd it go? I know we used it. That word dad. And we're gonna stamp that in Night of Navy. We're gonna stamp that right in that little white piece. Okay, there's that. Now I'm gonna close this up. Okay, so now we're going to, I was just reading some of your guys' comments there. And it's almost like as my brain is going, I'm starting to dislike the heat more and more. It seems like I'm turning down our AC in the house lower and lower by the day. The guys were just out here, they come out and they test the AC and everything, because that's definitely not something we want to lose during the summer months. So the rain that we had yesterday was a kind of a phenomenon. I mean, to be honest with you, we have not had rain in the month of June for 129 years. Wild, right? I know that just doesn't even sound fathomable. So yesterday we set a record for the amount of rain that we had, besides the fact that it's been 129 years since we've seen rain in the month of June. June is normally our hottest, driest month, because then going into July, we start seeing the monsoons. So it was pretty crazy. So you guys have heard me talk about my daughter losing her friend. And so they have done a garden in her name. And so it was kind of crazy, because the mom posted the other day that she was out working in the garden and she knew that it was kind of a meant to be kind of thing, that rain, that was her daughter giving them rain for getting that garden up and going. So it was kind of touching. Okay, so now that we've got our stuff stamped and we've got our pieces put together, we are going to actually get this card all laid out the way we're going to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and move my white piece for the moment. I'm going to take this first and we're going to adhere it down. So I'm going to leave about 1/2 inch over on the left here for this, and I'm going to take it all the way down to the bottom, just like so. This piece here I'm going to pop up on dimensionals. This piece is going to go, it's going to center over the top of this, but we're not going too low, and we're staying about the same width as we have over here, about 1/2 inch, as what we're going to stay up here, about 1/2 inch. Just like that. Our world's greatest farter, father, I always call my husband that. I'm like, you're the world's greatest farter. He's like, you're so mean. That's so rude. I'm like, well, you are. Call it like I see it. I'm like, but the word looks like farter. He's like, no, there's an H. And I'm like, okay, I'll give it to you. So then, watching all the 3 sides of my square, I'm just going to eyeball that and let that hang off the side, but keeping this all kind of symmetrical, only by the eye. I'm not measuring anything. And then my dad down here, my kids, I think we actually made him a t-shirt when the kids were really, really little, and it said world's best farter. So I'm going to bring this up over here about like that. Again, watching this space and this space. Bring that down. Okay. There is that. Now that is going to go on the front of our card here. Now you can choose to pop this up, but I've already got some dimension here. I didn't really want to go again because if I go to put this in the mail, you know how those mail people are. The post office does not want all that dimension, and they want to charge you for that extra dimension. So they're like, yes, you make beautiful cards, but we're going to charge you. Okay, so isn't that gorgeous? So with this one, I wanted to bring in a little bit more. So I am using the 2025-2027 in color flat pearls. Another reason why I didn't want to go another level. Now, I know these ones up here are Secret C, but since we've got so much blue going on, I think we could really pull it off by getting away with adding some of the Secret C on here and not have it be something that somebody's going to question. Okay. So see how pretty those are? I mean, it's still the same kind of tone of blue. So I think that works quite well on that card. Isn't that pretty? I guess it's not pretty. Isn't that, I wouldn't say handsome. It's good. I don't know of another nice card. There you go. It's nice. That works. And then we can come in with, we have another piece of our blue here. We can grab that and come in the inside and do a, let's do 5 by 3 3/4. I really like that size for the inside of a card. Then when I grab my little white piece, we can cut just a smidge of this off, and we're going to bring this down to, we will go 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. And then we can grab some of that coordinating paper that I've got sitting here. So we could either use some of those airplanes and bring those in. We could use some of this paper since there's not as much of that. But because we've got, let's see, let's look at it. If we were going to have that in there, do we want that? Or do we want that? I think I kind of like this. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Now that was 3 1/2 by, we're going to go with 3/4. Might as well. Okay, we're going to take this and we're going to put this right in the inside, down on the bottom there. My husband and my son take off this weekend to go up to Phoenix for Comic-Con. They like to go to the Phoenix Comic-Con because then it kind of helps them get prepared for what it's going to be like at Tucson Comic-Con, where they have a booth that they set up for. So they are super excited. There's, I guess, quite a few actors that are going to be there that they want to get autographs from and get pictures with, all that good stuff. That's not really my thing. So they go up this weekend and do that. Now, he was hoping that our truck was going to be done. So I'm sure you guys probably saw me post a couple months ago that our truck, he went to work, he had it parked in the parking lot at work, and somebody decided to turn too sharply and rip the whole front end of our truck off. And he was parked in two spaces because he had the trailer on the back of it that he was hauling wood because when he goes into town, and because we don't live too close to town, he will take the trailer with him some mornings if he knows he's got to pick up wood to make anything or whatever the case may be. And so he had two parking spots taken up. He had the trailer in one and then the truck in the other. So it's not like he couldn't be seen. And this truck pulled and went too sharply and ripped the whole front of the truck off. Well, we never found out who it was. There was a police report. The police never found out who it was, blah, 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 blah. So we've had to pay our insurance, you know, the deductible and all that kind of stuff, to fix the whole front end of the truck. And so we took it in there 2 weeks ago, and they called and let us know that it was supposed to be done last Friday, that they were just waiting on one part and that it should have been in Friday morning and they would have it done. Well, lo and behold, they never received the part, and they are now saying that it has been delayed and it may not be done until this Friday. Well, they leave for Comic-Con on Thursday. So I told him, I go, well, you know what? Good thing my parents have two cars sitting over there that, you know, they don't use very often. So if worst case scenario, because he's like, I don't want to leave you without a car. I go, but I don't go anywhere. It's okay. I'll be okay without a car. He goes, yeah, but if something happens and you got to take Caden, I go, well, we'll be okay. My parents have cars. My mom has the same exact vehicle as mine, just a lot newer than mine, but it's not like she drives a little two-seater, you know, sports car that I can't get my daughter in and out of. She has a minivan also. We can get her in and out of it if worst case scenario. But like I told him, I go, we'll be fine. We'll be just good without it. Go have fun, quit stressing about things. So he tells me today, he goes, well, I already rented a car. And I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, I rented a car through Costco. Like, don't spend extra money. We don't need that. So he goes, okay, I'll just call and cancel as long as you're okay. And I go, yes, I'm okay. Because we have been checking into car rentals when we go to Oregon, because we're just not comfortable enough driving the RV while towing another vehicle. That just makes it, because the RV is already 40 feet long as it is. You hook another vehicle with a hitch on there. Ugh, I can't even imagine driving that thing with something like that on the back. So he was telling me how much a car rental would be up there, and I just am, we were actually, because of the cost of what it costs to rent a vehicle up there for the couple of weeks that we'll be up there, it would almost be wiser, especially since we plan on doing it every year, it would be wiser for us to just buy a car and just leave it up there. So that's kind of what we're thinking about, because it's just throwing money down the toilet. At least if I have a car and it can be parked up there at one of the family members' homes, then it's not going anywhere, you know, versus having to just pay somebody else to borrow a vehicle. So anyways, that's kind of what we are dealing with at the moment. So let's get back to these fantastic cards for our Father's Day series here. Here is our first card with that fantastic fun fold. A very beautiful scenic view of this card. Very masculine colors, I think, in that. I really, really like. I would not have thought of putting Lost Lagoon with Mossy Meadow, but when I looked at this paper, I knew those were the two colors that I just had to pair with this. And then our tons of layering. Beautiful card here, using those gorgeous blues. World's Greatest Father. We've got our dad, and then our inside that then you can stamp your sentiment and write what you wish in the inside of that. So, all right, I hope you guys enjoy making your Father's Day cards. I'm sure you guys probably already have some of this stuff that you could recreate these cards yourselves. Have a fantastic, fantastic week. I know back east where a lot of you guys are, this is like crazy weather season for you. And I know a lot of you have to hunker down, and a lot of you have those storm shelters for when they do say that the tornadoes and stuff are coming in. But please be safe out there. If you ever head this way, you know we've got a place for you to stay. I know during the fires that were going on here in the Tucson area, there was a great big one out in the town out northwest of us that, or east of us, that was in the town called Oracle. And a lot of people have their farm animals and stuff up there. And I was talking to my husband and I said, you know what? I go, if worst case scenario and those people need a place to go, we can always slap some pins up because we've got lots of hog paneling and cow panels and stuff out there that we can build pins and slap them up pretty quick, and people can bring their animals out here so they know that they're safe. And we've got running water, we've got all the things that they need to keep these animals alive and safe. And if they've got RVs and they want to come out and stay with their animals, they can do so. We've got the property to do it. So all right, you guys, take care of yourselves. I love you all. Thanks for coming in and joining me. Enjoy these fantastic Father's Day cards. All right, you guys, take care. Bye-bye.